Welcome back to Life as a Cow.
That's one too many words.
In fact, okay. Go ahead, Lips. You're so awesome. Thank you. Go ahead.
I love that you bring out the rebel in me.
You already are a rebel. Trust me.
Always. And please be careful. Promise?
Of course. I'll keep you posted.
I know you will.
Basically, she figured out Nathan's room number is 111. Here's the thing, though. Trust me, even if you don't save Kate for her to do this for you, it's not hard at all to figure out what Nate's room is. So honestly, it feels like a very, very weak payoff, developers, for my efforts.
To be fair, it's that telltale form of stuff.
See, even the game says it. See? It's
okay. To Kate's credit, she is trying, and to be fair, the whole texting thing is like extra flavor text. And yes, this totally isn't illegal.
Oh, I get that, Jova. It's just that I genuinely believe I should get a better payoff than this for saving Kate, to be honest with you.
Oh yes, I absolutely agree. It's just that I guess, why does he have projectors all over in his room playing when nobody's even in there?
Max, now that David is not here, I need Chloe to step up and stop acting out so much. But that won't happen if you and her are mixed up in illegal crap like breaking into Blackwell at night. I know it happens, so don't bother to defend or explain. I hoped you would get back on track, but it looks like she's getting stuck again. You could be such a good influence on her, unless you both want to play bad. But she can't keep blaming David now. I'm sorry, Joyce. Even I get into shenanigans, but I am trying to be a good influence on Chloe. I know, Max. I forget you're still teenage adults.
Now, I know what some people may think. Well, this is the game finally calling Chloe out for her problems. I mean, again, like I mentioned, this is extra flavor text. You can easily miss this stuff, and even still, I don't consider this adequate to actually having the story call for Chloe being bad. Like, there's a difference between characters pointing out something and a difference with the story actually acknowledging it. Because Chloe's attitude is never a problem that the game actually sees fit to properly address and fix.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Yeah, I'll say it again. Chloe, here's the thing. Chloe is actually a realistic figure in this regard.
Hold on, I have to mention this. Nevin Prescott's email. Hey, gorgeous, let me know what you're wearing in the Vortex Room Club. So basically, we're taking a look through Nathan's laptop. Vortex Club, and there you go. Kate's Gone Wild video. Right there. Anyway, here you go. Sean Prescott. Nate, I know this has been a stressful week and your mother and I'm here to talk if need be. Oh, sorry. Okay, don't worry, I can recap basically. Basically, Christine, aka Nathan's sister, is actually pretty nice. Problem is, the daddy is not. Basically, the dad is constantly keeping pressure on him. There you go. Nathan, I'd like to apologize for the reason and now Principal Wells is apologizing to Sean Prescott for Max's accusation to Nathan. There you go. So yeah, Principal Wells is terrible.
Suspended him
anyway,
still,
Nate, I know this has been a stressful week, and your mother and I are here to talk if you need be. Just make an appointment anytime. Your mother wants Dr. Bill to come out after book tour. For now, let's stick to your prescriptions. So yeah, basically, Nathan is actually going through mental issues, and he's not seeing a psychiatrist because he doesn't want to. And the dad and the parents don't really do much to, get him to go to his consults. So basically it's a combination of mental issues plus a family that doesn't really seem to do much good.
Want to know my problem with this? The story barely does anything.
Yeah, what Jova said.
Because again, at the end of the day, Nathan is painted as the cartoonish bad guy of this, even though we see he clearly has some stuff going on here.
Yeah, that's a problem. The game does try to justify, explain his behavior. The problem is, like Jova just said, they don't really explore the topic of mental illness with Nathan. They just try to give it as a thinly veiled excuse for why he's the way he is, basically.
Again, this team is tackling subjects they have no business tackling.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like I mentioned, even though the game is supposedly trying to help Chloe, it never addresses the fact that Chloe is arguably the biggest villain in the story.
I actually really love this. I actually really love this part. This part, believe it or not, the game is about to get really bizarre.
Stop right there, Nathan.
Make me, ho!
No, suddenly Warren. Where did you come from?
I got this.
Again?
Get out of my face.
Oh,
Great, that's
You are
another
so
bruise
fucking
now.
dead. Get off me, bro!
go, Warren. Wait, stop. Why would I want to stop Warren? No, stay out of it. Just.
To be fair, if Warren goes a little
He had a
too
gun.
far, you know.
Kate?
Yeah.
Like me?
I mean, he had a gun,
See this
so
motherfucker?
yeah.
Not to mention he's had this.
Yeah.
Not to mention he's had this coming for a long time now.
Yeah, like this dude has been threatening people's lives repeatedly.
Please
Like,
stop!
He's down. Hey, come on.
Stop. Sorry.
Yes, we have to go.
Oh no, she took the gun. Chloe,
Gun to take.
great, another gun for Chloe to harm someone's, probably herself, with it.
Would you rather have Nathan have the gun?
Well, I would rather none of them have the gun, actually.
It was good.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, Nathan had that coming. Although, again, the fact that Chloe gets the last word. Again, like I mentioned, yes, Nathan is terrible, but so is Chloe. And yet, we just found out that Nathan has his own issues here and there. Granted, again, Warren was completely in the right to beat him down. All that is same in here. Again, my frustration comes from the fact that
went crazy there.
never do we try and look into any more depth with Nathan. Now, some could say he's a scumbag, he doesn't
where are you
deserve
going?
it. Well, I say in
better stick
contract
with
to
you
that,
guys.
arguably Chloe's
Just in
just
case
as
you
much
need
a
to get my
scumbag
Hulk
on the
on.
surface
Get
as
my
well.
Hulk on.
Or should I call the cops on Nathan?
No police. Not yet. So maybe you better.
Warren, me and Max have to do this on our own. No offense.
It's cool.
Wow, she actually explained things to Warren in a way that felt like an actual well-balanced person would. Wow, I'm surprised.
Between the snow and the cliffs.
Cherish that, Shiroi. That's those moments where she does that are rare and few and far between.
but yeah, that was
I'm feeling pretty alpha now.
Yes.
Feeling pretty alpha
You know
right
what?
now.
Okay, you know what? I'll
I'm
give
an
Warren
alpha
this.
male gamer.
Okay, you know what? I'll give Warren this though. I am glad that he was the one who got to beat Nathan up, seeing as how Nathan was the one who gave him the black eye in the first place.
Will he even answer you?
Well, at least at least one of these games' subplots got a proper payoff.
Yeah.
Like I said, Frank wants to see me right now.
Let's not keep him waiting.
All right, time to go see Frank.
Goody.
This is actually one of my favorite. Okay, it's for the sake of being more positive. This is actually one of my favorite sections of the game because if you know, like, if you play your cards right, this particular section says is a really good character showpiece for Frank and show that he's more than what first impressions would have you believe. And I'll show that. So let's see.
I hate seeing those poor.
Oh yeah, the whales. Yeah, like Jova said, yeah, it's not like the game seems to care that much about the whales, so why should I?
It's funny because the first time we saw the whales off like this was in the alternate timeline. Now we're actually seeing them here.
Count on my rewind.
Yeah, allow me to remind everybody what Chloe said in episode 1. I thought you believed in gun control, Chloe. Yes, I believe I should control the gun. Allow me to remind you that the last time she had a gun in her hands, she shot herself.
I remember in our first playthrough, you guys thought that line was
We
funny.
can just go on a road trip to Portland.
Well,
Fuck yeah.
that was a long time ago, dude. I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Really do not remember the context of that, or if even I was one of the
So let's
ones who
play
found
this
that.
cool, okay?
Well, you know what?
Just pay
Okay.
Frank his money.
Maybe in the context of that, that was before we knew how terrible Chloe is in the long run of things.
Okay, let me meet you halfway, Dwibs. That line as a whole, there's nothing inherently wrong with the line itself. It's just that Chloe as a character doesn't really make that line work when you actually boil it down to like the full context. The line itself is
One
fine.
thing I know
It's
for
more a problem of
sure-
who says the line rather than the line itself. Go on.
whether or not we found it funny back then, one thing I know for sure is that we didn't know how terrible a character Chloe was going to end up to be at that time. So there would have definitely been different context about whether or not we found that funny or not.
Not to mention, that was back in 2015. We were different people back then, most likely. So we probably have...
People and opinions do change. Or refine. Alright, let's talk to Frank.
Oh, look.
Yeah, for some reason they have this thing where every time Frank sees them, he makes some kind of 80s reference. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like his references, they're funny, but I get the feeling a lot of people here, aside from maybe me and maybe Jova, won't get those. There you go, there's your money.
I guess
Frank.
if you're enough of a DC fan, you'll get that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so to recap, we're here because we need Frank's information on his clients, because we know, thanks to
we ask you
David's
quick questions?
psycho stalker notes, that Nathan is one of Frank's customers. So hopefully Frank can tell us, can give us the information of when he came to get the drugs that he dosed Kate with.
I'm not getting you high.
I'm sorry, Lips, could you repeat that?
Frank, we're not here to get
Lady
high.
balls.
No.
Yeah, well, we've already gone through how the dialogue in this game is, yeah. The Hardy Boys.
Some of your clients.
Oh, is that all?
I mean, okay. I guess to at the very least be somewhat fair, I can understand what they mean with lady balls, as in like, you know, like usually we say, oh, you've got balls when you say that you've got guts. And so he meant lady balls as in a female equivalent of saying that, maybe. I'm guessing that's the logic of the line.
Yeah. That's usually the logic people use with that stuff. Honestly, that is one of the few times where the slang actually does make sense, weirdly enough.
Sure.
Chloe here knows all about that, don't you?
Come on, Frank. This isn't about me now.
Yeah, right, okay.
For once you don't want it to be about you, Chloe. Now there's a surprise.
Yeah. Basically, here's the idea. You have to try to convince Frank to give you the notebook. By doing that, you have to appeal, you have to, of course, not antagonize him, obviously. Hopefully keep Chloe away from him, because we all know what Chloe would do if she were the ones doing the talking. And we also should try to appeal to his heart. Okay, try to, you know, pull some heartstrings, you know, like have a subject that he feels strong about.
I only want
There you go.
to
Basically, we just apologized for, you know, supposedly shooting him, you know, even though the gun didn't have, yeah.
Are we cool? Please?
Okay, we're cool for now. But my dog isn't. And if you try any shit, he will bite your head off. He's done it before.
We're only here to talk. I wouldn't mess with your dog.
Shit, you wouldn't have to.
Yeah, basically, Frank is a big dog person. So let's play to that.
Aww.
I love dogs. Period. I wish I had one trained as well as yours.
Yeah, he had a bad trainer before. Real bad. But he's dead now. And I trained Pompidou how to be my friend.
That's very cool, Frank. Your dog is lucky you came along.
Maybe we can focus on rescuing Rachel now?
Rachel?
Chloe, please.
Is that why you're really here?
Okay. To be fair, that wasn't necessarily a bad. Like, it's just mostly because she's impatient. Because for all we know, time is against us. So
I get that. The issue is like, well, we were kind of getting in good with the guy, and you know, okay, I get that gameplay wise, that's to segue into the next conversation.
And now.
Kind of poking the bear there.
Yeah, and we also pick Rachel photo because remember he had a thing with Rachel, so obviously you know he would feel strong about it. So
And you care.
I'll agree with Pedro.
How the hell
Actually,
did you know about that photo?
I mean, for all we
That's
know,
my favorite picture of
Rachel
her.
could be in severe
I can look at
danger
it
right
and
now
know
at this
she'll
very
always be there
moment.
for me.
yeah,
I can't
And
stand not
the
knowing
more
who
time
she
we
is.
waste talking about dogs,
Not
the
hearing
more
her voice
yeah.
the more time could be
anymore.
wasted
We can
trying to
change
help
all
her.
that.
I mean, I don't think
It's
every
up to
single
you.
line that comes out of Chloe's
Help
mouth
us
is like the
find her,
worst
Frank.
thing ever already.
Sure. But yeah, like Frank just said.
My argument is like, well, maybe we should be careful
Well, if
with
there's a
the
chance
guy
in
who
hell,
can
you
and
two
may
dorks
kill
can
us
find
if we
Rachel.
say the wrong
Yeah.
thing.
Take it.
Like, Frank's still pretty
dog is
dangerous. Like,
barking at you,
again,
so I guess that's a
don't
good
get me wrong.
sign.
I get the need to hurry, But the last thing you want to do is antagonize the guy.
That being said,
cause him to,
true.
at best, lock up, or at worst, kill us.
Yeah. Basically, if you play your cards wrong, he'll get angry, tell you to leave your property, set Pompidou after you, and Chloe shoots the dog. To be fair, it's in self-defense. To be fair, I will be fair there.
I noticed that groan there, Shiroi.
Yeah, but to be fair, Shiroi, when she does that, it's in legit self-defense. I will give a credit
No,
there.
no, that's true. Like, he's literally sending the dog to attack. So.
Okay. However, if you do play your cards right, Frank has a change of heart, and as you noticed, he started pouring his heart out how he really misses Rachel, how Rachel was the only good thing he had in his life, and all that stuff. So and as he said, if there's any chance you two dorks can save Rachel, I'll take it. So he gave us his notebook with all his clients. And we're actually going to see more of Frank later on. So again, I get what they're going for with Frank. He's the drug dealer that, despite of course not being an exactly super nice person, he does have a heart underneath it all, at least. And we'll see actually more of it later. So you'll see. Go on.
Like Pedro did mention, that's actually one of the better sections of the game. Only because, once again, your choices really do matter at that point as well, with how different stuff can go. And admittedly, as annoying as she is for the majority of the game,
you can, Frank.
Chloe does have a better reason for abrasiveness in that section.
So let me get that. I see why Chloe digs you. Stop by later if you both want a party. And good luck.
And by party, he means get high, obviously.
All those Rubik's clues.
And again, you know what?
Holla if you need
Frank
any
is
info,
definitely
I'll
one
go
of the
online
better
to make sure we
characters.
Oh, he's actually also pretty cool in. He's especially a cool character in Before the Storm. He's probably the best character in that game. Now that I think about it.
Honestly, it seems that that's a consistent between both teams. Although, honestly, the more I think about Before the Storm, while it is definitely the worst game, part of me wonders how much of it is truly Deck 9's fault and how much of it is a fault of, well, again, for instance, Square Enix just plopping any old random developer on it here and there, and I don't know, could Donut maybe have given them a Bible or something for what they actually thought would work out?
The thing is, Jova, Don't didn't have any intention of ever continuing the story of Max and Chloe or expanding upon it with a prequel at all. Their intention was just to move straight into Life is Strange 2, which is entirely separate and has nothing to do with Life is Strange 1. Don't wanted to move on from Max and Chloe and Rachel and all this thing. Whereas Deck 9 came to them, according to the behind the scenes videos, it was Deck 9 who pitched the idea to them, to Square, and Square decided, well, it's still going to be a while before we get Life is Strange 2, so might as well have this release as a way to make even more money on this new hit IP that we have.
I guess part of the reason I have had doubts recently is because I've had a look at Life is Strange 3, and it is much better than Before the Storm.
That's the thing, Joe. But here's the big difference, though. There's a big difference, Joe, between Before the Storm and True Colors.
Life is Strange 3.
In Before the Storm, Zach Garris was the writer. Whereas in True Colors, Zach Garris was the director, not the writer. So I guess he's a much better director than he is a writer.
Maybe that's it. Before the Storm is one of those interesting stories where it's easy to make fun of, but I can't help but feel a bit sorry for Deck 9 in the sense where I honestly, unlike with Don't Nod in the first two Life is Strange games, and this is not to say that they didn't have good intentions with those games either, but with Deck 9, I often get the feeling that there's a more, how to put it, there's more of a genuine touch to it, at least, to the point where it is a shame that Before the Storm turned out the way it did. Mind you, it still is probably on them for it. It's just that the whole situation feels complicated.
Let me put it this way: I truly believe what the guys at Deck 9 say in those behind-the-scenes videos. I genuinely believe that they're huge fans of this first game, and they wanted to make their own prequel. But the problem is, like Yurik said in his video about Before the Storm, the writing is fan fiction level. It really feels like, again, it's made by fans of this game. Hell, even Ashley Birch, who's the writing consultant on Before the Storm, even says, "Oh, this is great because it's being made by fans of the first game." And yeah, I can tell you that the writing, like Yurik said, does feel fan fiction tier in a lot of ways. And again, I truly believe that they were genuinely passionate fans who wanted to make their own Life is Strange game. The thing is, the creative decisions in that game are really poor. Like I said, of all the concepts to make a prequel out of to this game, you pick Chloe meeting Rachel for the first time. Really? Why not expand upon the period in between the flashback we saw with Max and Chloe when during episode 4, and the time when this one starts? Like close that gap. Then maybe that way you can try and maybe fix Chloe's character. Who knows? Maybe. Or hell.
Correctly, actually, that was kind of the point of Before the Storm.
Was it?
Help people see Chloe's side of what happened with Rachel a lot better,
but that would
sort of show why she becomes the way she does.
Yeah,
better.
That's the thing, Jova. That kind of falls flat on its face when the game literally starts with her being her usual punk, give middle fingers, back talks to everybody thing as well. Second, the story of Before the Storm doesn't even end. It just stops. Like we never actually get to see how Chloe and Rachel separate at all. We never actually get to see that. So again, remember, the game is only 3 episodes long, so it feels incomplete. And the game doesn't really end. Doesn't really have a conclusion. It just stops. It literally. I mean, I can go into specifics because of spoilers, but. I honestly, if you can only make 3 episodes, you should have picked a different type of narrative, or at the very least streamline the one you have.
Yeah, the voice actor strike didn't help.
Yeah, the voice acting strike also didn't help because Rihanna, I can't pronounce her last name.
Rihanna DeVries.
Rihanna DeVries. She tries, but she's no Ashley Birch. It's very, very noticeable that it's a sound-alike.
know why. It's just like, well, whenever I look at Before the Storm, part of me feels almost a bit bad ragging on the game. Like, let me put it like this. I don't feel the least bit bad ragging on this or Life is Strange 2, but something about Before the Storm makes it feel like it's almost too much of a punching bag. But admittedly, I'm not going to act like it didn't deserve it or anything. It's just, I don't know, something about ragging on that game just feels off.
Anyway, just
maybe
to bring this back into the game, to bring it back to this game, this is actually probably the best gameplay part of the game to me, because you're pretty much, this is something that's, again, it's kind of akin to the Norman, Jaden, and Connor sequences where we gather all the evidence and solve the case from Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human, except this one feels even better because you're basically comparing notes, you're comparing lists, you're basically trying to associate. Okay, so Nathan, and by the way, Frank codenamed Nathan Rottweiler.
Also, you may have noticed one line about how Max admits that David actually did have the right idea suspecting Nathan on something. Again, remember that line for later.
Okay, so basically we've concluded that yes, it was indeed Nathan who bought the drugs that those Kate, because the times that he did match, basically. Now we have to try our best to try to get into Nate's phone to see if we can, check his messages, see if we can get some evidence against him. So the idea right now is to try to guess his PIN code. I've never been able to guess the PIN code based on the clues we have, because look at this, it's just a bunch of numbers. I guess and remember, you can only try 3 times. Don't worry, even if you lock the phone, you can just rewind to before you locked it, so it's not like you can't retry the pin over and over if you want. Of course you can.
Look up the pin, I'm guessing.
That's the problem, Shiroi. The idea is that we're supposed to figure out the pin based on any possible clues from these various notes and shit, and it's just kind of, I don't really understand what's the, because remember, there's a note full of numbers. This letter doesn't have anything. There's a poster to the Vortex Club party. I mean,
To give this pin code.
and yeah, as you can see, his phone card has the puck code. So basically, here's what I do. I just fuck it.
Got to be some good shit.
Just get the pin wrong 3 times and then use the puck code to access the phone. There you go. I mean, I've tried this a couple times.
This is Nathan's phone.
Yeah, I've tried this a couple times in my previous playthroughs. I've never really been able to figure out how you're supposed to figure out the pin code. I'm guessing there is a way. I mean, otherwise, why would you have all these clues to figure out shit? Because remember, they have the school sheet with the birthday date and the other shit. Again, try any possible numbers that might be. I mean, I was able to figure out David's password and in his laptop because that was relatively easy to do. But in here, I can't quite figure out because there's way too many possibilities and way too many numbers. I mean, yeah.
Is there a way the number is displayed that kind of gives it away, or
Not that I noticed.
okay? I mean, these aren't on screen long enough for me to actually look, so I'm just.
Oh, well, don't worry, Shiro. It's just a bunch of numbers. It's like,
To be fair, I'm pretty sure that there is some secret meaning to them.
I'm
Yes,
sure.
if you think hard enough about their.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
some meaning to it.
I'm sure. If I look up a guide, I'll see the solution. Oh, okay, so that's how it is. That makes sense. I'm sure the solution is fine. I'm not trying to dunk on the game for this puzzle. It's just that I get to a point where I'm just like, I'll just use the puck code, like just to move on, because I'm not. I don't know. I guess the clues don't. I can't really get there with the clues. Basically, like there's way too many possibilities, and I don't really have the patience to try every single possibility that those clues have. So honestly, I'd rather just use the puck code and just move on. Okay, so the puck code is in. Okay. Yeah, in
Mobile.
hindsight, Nathan, you shouldn't have your card with the puck code right next to your phone.
Okay, admittedly, I don't think he was expecting his card to get stolen like this. Oops. Like,
So
to
we
be
beat
fair,
him up
that's-
and took his shit. Okay.
But remember, Shiwa, he's really, really mean, so it's okay.
Again, don't get me wrong. He is a terrible person,
Oh yeah.
but so is Chloe.
Let's find out
But
what
we're
Nathan
helping
has
her,
been
so
trying.
Here we go.
again.
Bitch, you sold me water, asshole. Calm down, bring it to me. Stay away. Pigs on the beach. And by pigs, he means cops,
This
obviously.
is all about
You
trying
got to party tonight. On the way, load the bowl. Go ahead, Jova. I can recap this later.
Like, again, you're telling me that with all her time traveling powers that Max couldn't also
Didn't
try to
have
maybe
enough
help
drugs.
these other terrible people be better people? And you know what? And I get it. For context,
killer drama.
Chloe is her friend, but it really, really is frustrating how the game insists that Chloe is the person who we help to this extent, but never any of the
So
other
it
people
was
to
you.
try and be better people. Like, here's the thing.
Now I can officially
If the
call you
story
a
basically went
psycho-stalker.
that we tried, but they're just inherently bad people who refuse to
No,
change,
Nathan, it's
then
time for you to
fine.
watch
I
out,
would be okay with it.
asshole.
But never is it tried
Is this
at
from
all.
his father?
Please do not contact me at work. I've told you this before. Being high is not an excuse anymore. This is a business, not just a hobby. You want me to treat you like an adult who can get things done on his own? Impress me. I'd like nothing more than to be proud of you. I'm not there yet. So yeah, Nathan's dad is a piece of work, as you can see.
Whole family's a piece of work, but yeah, Dwebs.
I thought something behind me exactly would have written to Goro.
Dwebs.
Get ready to fucking be vicious. You fuck up my dorm door, I'll kill a scholarship.
I'll kill your scholarship.
I get the feeling he was disoriented when he made that text.
I mean, we
mean,
did
you
like
know-
punch his lights out.
Yeah, I mean, the Warren.
And by the way,
Yeah.
you're probably thinking, aha, so that's why you should stop Warren. Because if you don't stop him, Nathan will get incredibly angry and go after you. Ha ha. Keep dreaming that your choices have consequences. Anyway,
That's
Oh,
because
well-
Chloe will think less of you somehow.
Pedro, there is a consequence.
go on.
It will happen to Nathan's face.
True. Okay,
But
so
I mean, so to say there are no consequences is not entirely correct.
well, when I say consequences, I'm talking about narrative consequences.
Here's a consequence to your face.
Not much out there.
Remember, Glibs, every time you start an episode, the game has that little thing saying, "Oh, Life is Strange it's a choice-driven game. Your choices will affect and have great consequences, so choose carefully." When the game keeps, touting itself like that, it's kind of setting itself up for me to criticize it for that. But
Did that bit actually specify? Oh, these will only happen in the future.
I guess not. But I mean,
Well, there you are. Then you can't, that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. Yes. Sometimes they have to. Sometimes games feel like they have to specify stuff. Otherwise they'll mess up and they'll get criticized for it.
The consequences are coming.
There you
don't know
go.
when,
So
but they're coming.
So there you go. Thanks to the various name matching, time matching, and all the good stuff that we've done, we now know for sure that Nate was indeed there. He bought the drugs that
Nothing, Max.
those Kate, and we know that he was there on that specific Border Club's party. So basically, and at this point, we pretty much have, and now Chloe's going to cross-check all the info we got. Turns out, it leads to he met Frank at a place that's owned by the Prescott family.
Fuck that. You know
Of
the police here are
course.
like Nathan's private security, right?
Yeah, true.
So messed up.
As you've noticed, this whole
No,
That's
we
the
don't,
thing.
Tex.
Oh, go on,
trust
Jova.
anybody.
Okay,
Each other.
we know that the
We have
school
to
is
go after
basically
that
in their
conquest by
pocket, but
ourselves.
we haven't gotten anything
afraid
prior
you'd
to
say
suggest that they own the
We
police.
could call
Yeah, that's the thing, Jova. The game is clearly trying to go for the whole, this family has the entire town on its hand type of
I'm
thing.
not scared at all.
Let me put it like this. Anyone with common sense would
this close to
probably go
financial.
to the police first
We
on
have to
this sort
find
of
Max.
stuff.
We will.
Yeah, but this is Chloe and Max we're talking about, Jova, so they don't do that.
They
We still
should
have
have
to
gone
be
to the
careful.
police, yes. Just
Here,
for the
come.
formality's sake. And I say that because would the police have done anything? No, not likely. But still, they should have gone there just to at least say that they did,
Christ, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but at least in Book of Henry, the protagonist tried to go to child services before they went to the
At
incredibly
least in the
illegal
Book of Henry,
methods.
goddamn.
Yeah, and
Yes.
Book of Henry did establish that they can't just report the guy because he's friends with powerful people and they won't.
Never mind the fact that the abusive parent was the police chief as well, so yeah.
No,
Again,
we are
I
not.
can't believe I'm going to say this. Book of Henry did a better job setting this kind of stuff up.
Dwibs, no, we are not killing the police commissioner. That is final. Anyway, everybody, tune in.
See you for the next part.
So tune in next time where Chloe writes a book on how to kill.
See ya.
See ya.